Welcome to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. These two teams keep winning, so we keep bringing them back on. That's women's hockey, and we'll be talking men's basketball coming up in our second segment. My name is Matt Menzel, being joined by senior goaltender Cameron McCardle, coming off a great weekend, in my opinion, against the Adrian College Bulldogs, the fifth-ranked team at the time in the nation, coming away with a victory Friday, a tough overtime loss on Saturday. But let's begin with Friday, a hard-earned 1-0 victory. In your opinion, what was the difference on Friday?
I think on Friday our coach came into the locker room before the game and he was like, you know, it doesn't matter the stats, the record, who we're playing. You got to just play with your heart, and we have nothing to lose here. We just have everything to gain. So I think every girl went out there with some new grit, and we just worked our butt off the whole game, and it ended up working out. It was great.
In a game like that for you, do you get nervous when the game is that tight for as long as it is, knowing the situation, or do you not think about the score?
I think this year we've had a lot of close games like that, and you're playing it and it's just getting closer and closer to when that clock hits 0. And so with a little lead like 1-0 throughout the game, you're it just takes one bounce, it takes one shot. So, I mean, you have some extra pressure, but I think as a goalie, those pressures kind of elevate your performance, and yeah.
Speaking of performances, you came through with a big 42 save, showing in that shutout your third of this season. Where was your confidence level at on Friday going into Saturday?
Yeah, I think going into Friday, you hear about a team like Adrian, you see the scores of other games. It's easy to prepare yourself, what am I going to be seeing? You're a little nervous. Friday, obviously, it went well for us, and I think I just felt a lot more confident about going into Saturday. I knew what shots I'd be seeing. I knew what certain girls, where they would be placing the shot and that sort of thing. So I think I just felt a lot more confident going into Saturday.
Saturday, as mentioned, a tough loss in overtime, and you still came through with a remarkable career best of 55 saves. You look at that game, I guess when you look at how it went down, what was the difference on Saturday?
I think Saturday, the 55 saves, it was their senior night. They're going to come out there just with that extra effort just for their seniors. So they were definitely getting a lot more shots on us. We came back, we were blocking shots, we were selling ourselves for me, which was very sweet. And defensively, we were taking care of my rebounds in that zone. So I think it was a really good effort by us again. And we took them right to the 1-minute mark, and then we went into overtime. So it was a very good effort by the team, yeah.
Overall, when you recap the weekend, how big of a confidence booster is this past weekend for this team, knowing that you guys can compete with the who's who in the NCHA, and those are teams you're going to have to contend with to win a conference tournament championship?
Yeah, I think it's amazing to see what this team's capable of. I think we were the first team in our conference to actually get a full win over them, so it just shows you that we're up there and we're able to compete and we can take it to the next level. So. Yeah.
Obviously, for you, your role has changed here this senior year. You're obviously seeing more playing time, the primary goaltender. How have you developed, I guess, from the start of this season versus where you're at now?
I think as I've gotten these games, my confidence has just been growing, and with that, my performance. So I just feel a lot more comfortable in the net, in that leadership role, and I just have a really good relationship with all my goalie partners. We're very supportive this year, so it's been a great year, yeah. As
you close in on 1,000 career saves as well, that's just around the corner. This team, 11 seniors, are among those 11 seniors. And we've talked with other players, but just the chemistry on this roster. Just how close are you guys?
Yeah, we talk about it. We came in, I think 13 of us as freshmen, and we're down to 11, so we've just stayed such a tight group. I mean, we hang out with each other all the time. I think that chemistry has really fueled us on the ice this year especially. And we're just so proud of one another and where we've grown not only as hockey players but as people throughout the 4 years here.
There's so many players I could point out when you look at the offensive side, who's scoring, who's doing what. One player I want to point out is Brooke Gibson. What's it like to watch her play from your side of things?
I mean, as a goalie, Brooke Gibson's a dream. I mean, she got that point for us against Adrian. She is a goal scorer. So the more goals we score, the less pressure on me, and we're winning. So I think people like Brooke Gibson bring a lot to this program, not only as a point scorer, but as a leader for all the other girls. And I know a lot of our freshmen look up to her as a leader, as a captain, and what she's been doing for this program.
As you mentioned, you guys are winning. 16 wins, 6 losses, 1 tie, 11-4-1 in NCHA play, 9-3 from the Ozaki Ice Center. Coming up this week, you get Marion Friday at home. That's a 6 o'clock puck drop. We'll be up in Fond du Lac on Saturday at 4 p.m. before the quarterfinals at the Ozaki Ice Center on February the 21st and 22nd. Your thoughts on the road ahead?
I think this Adrian weekend gave us all the confidence we want for moving forward. We just have to do our job against Marion, and then we're set for playoffs. I think we're all really excited about where we're going with this team. So.
And to wrap it all up, Obviously, you're looking at Marion right now, but in a couple of weeks, you have the quarterfinals at home. And from what I understand, that was a goal of your guys', it sounds like, from day one to at some point host a quarterfinal series.
Yeah, in my 4 years here, we haven't been home for playoffs, so we're excited to see what that home crowd can do for us. And I think all the girls are just really proud where we've taken this program over the last 4 years.
As well, you guys should be. Cammie, thanks a lot for your time. All the best to you and your teammates as the weeks go on. And as mentioned, they'll be in action on Friday at home against Marion at 6 o'clock. And do note, February 21st, 22nd for the conference tournament quarterfinals. More to come as we continue on This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
I can't imagine being any other profession than an orthopedic surgeon. We have the privilege and we have the responsibility to make people better. We've been fortunate enough to take care of professional athletes. We've also been fortunate enough to take care of our neighbors and friends who trust us to give them back their life.
One of the main reasons I came here was because this is the way healthcare is meant to be delivered. Being devoted exclusively to orthopedic care means that we can focus on delivering specialized care for every patient. And that includes not only the surgeons and the physicians, but also anesthesia, controlling pain, the nurses, and the scrub techs, and everyone in the recovery is dedicated to treating conditions that are very similar for people.
Our tagline is an uncommon focus on you. We think the focus on the patient experience is what sets us apart. Before we make any process or clinical decision at the hospital, we start with the same question: is this what's best for the patient? If we can't answer yes, we move on to the next idea. Our nurses provide care for no more than 3 patients per shift, whereas other facilities, they might provide care for 7 or even 8 patients per shift. We think this personalized care is what sets us apart from others.
I think that dedication to our patients is our #1 focus. And you can technically do a good operation, but if you're not centered on the patient, they're not necessarily going to have a great outcome.
The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is physician-owned. It's physician-led. We have the responsibility to make the right decision for every patient. We also have the freedom to make the right decision for every patient.
The physicians and staff collaborate through regular meetings, weekly and monthly, and with a relatively small team, we're able to change the way we do things if we need to tweak something to make it perfect.
The facility specifically was designed so that quality could be measured and maintained and sustained. When you have 7,000 patients a year receive their surgery here, it's important that patient number 1 and patient number 7,000 receive the same care.
We place an extremely high priority on the patient experience here. We send surveys to each and every person that receives care at our hospital. Those survey results come back directly to me. I review them and share them with our senior leadership, as well as the staff and the physicians that provide the care to those patients.
There's almost 5,000 hospitals in the country that are measured. The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin measures #1, not #2, not #3, not runner-up, #1 in patient satisfaction in the state of Wisconsin for the last 10 years running.
Welcome back to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. We now shift gears to men's basketball and being joined by senior guard Zach Leahy as the men's basketball team coming off a couple of 100-plus point performances this past week here inside the John Book Fieldhouse and knocking off both Lakeland and a revenge game against Rockford. But first, how about for you, being a senior? Can you believe this is it? This is your senior year?
Yeah, time's flown by, but it's been really fun. It's kind of crazy to think about how fast it's gone, but I've really enjoyed my last year here.
Mm-hmm. When you think about your basketball playing days here at Concordia, how do you feel like you've improved as a player from, not seeing any time that first year to all of a sudden now you've become regular in the lineup?
Mm-hmm. I think it was just getting in the weight room and having regular talks with Coach and just improving my game every single day. I came here on a stacked freshman team with a lot of good players, so I didn't have the opportunity to play, but it was just keep working towards the same goal of getting minutes every year and just staying connected with the coaches and asking what I could improve on. So that's the main areas of how I grew my game. Mm-hmm.
And one part about your game that jumps out to me whenever you watch Falcon men's basketball is your defense, your defensive ability. Has it always been a strong suit of your play, has been on the defensive side?
No, it actually hasn't. In high school, I was more of a shooter, but I really focus on getting in the weight room, and I thought I'd become a lot stronger during college, and I was able to just focus on my defense, and I found a role for myself on the defensive end because we've had our scorers, especially this year. We've got our 3 main guys, so my main role is just go in there and defend. And it's also nice having a great partner in Jonah, and I love going out there and defending with him each game.
Let's go back to last week. We mentioned, okay, the team was able to score 100-plus in both victories. Let's start with Wednesday. The victory against Lakeland came back in that second half to knock off the Muskies 100-90. And when you look back at that game, what did you feel was the difference? How were you guys able to get over that hump and pick up that victory?
Well, we let up 55 points in the first half, and Coach kind of let into us in the locker room, kind of yelled at us a little bit. We always emphasize every single day, Coach Omar and Coach Miller talk about guard your yard, and that's what they told us in the locker room. We got to guard them and do a better job, and instead of guarding them one-on-one, it has to be 1-on-5. So he kind of lit us up there, and when we were able to get stops in the second half, I really think that it helped our offense get going. We were able to, well, we already had it going in the first half, but getting the stops helped us push ahead. I think we held them to 35 points in the second half, which was a huge improvement. But, yeah, it was just mainly guarding your yard and playing team defense. So.
And, of course, from an offensive standpoint, Casey Verhagen erupting for 44 points, one shy of the single-game program record. How about Saturday, the revenge game? He lost a tough one at the buzzer against Rockford back in December. Get him back here, knock him off 103-87. What did you feel was the difference on Saturday?
I think the difference on Saturday was the energy we came out with at the start. Our starters were super energetic, and we were able to get a ton of stops. They shot the ball really well at the start, but we had it going offensively. And I just kind of, going into that game, we came in with a lot of fire because we had 4 straight losses to Rockford, and they knocked us out of the playoffs last year. So we wrote up on the whiteboard that we took 4 straight losses to them, and I think it really motivated the guys to go out there and play our hardest. So we came up, fired up, and we were able to get the dub, which was awesome.
Yeah, right now the Falcons, we look overall at the way the season has gone, 13 wins, 9 losses, 10 victories, 5 defeats in conference play, 7-1 here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. About to wrap up a homestand later on this week, but then also overall have won 5 consecutive. How confident is this group? And I guess when you look at the start of the season versus now, how has that confidence grown?
Oh, we're so confident right now. The team's really starting to bond. We had a lot of transfers coming in, and we weren't very close as a team to start the year, but I really think the trip to Florida that we took earlier this season bonded us, and I'm feeling that we could beat any team in the conference right now. We're going to have to prove it. We'll have some tough games coming up against Aurora, WLC, and Benedictine, so we're going to have to keep playing our best basketball, but every single game I go into with the mindset that we're going to win, and I think the entire team does too, and we're going to go out there and we're going to keep playing hard and keep protecting the Buke Fieldhouse, keep getting wins. Well,
you mentioned it. Team does not play again until Saturday here inside the John Book Fieldhouse against Aurora. That's going to be a 2 o'clock start. It's senior day. But what do you guys do between now and then? You know, it's not often that in the middle of the season you get a week in between games, but that's the case here this week.
It's just staying focused every single day of practice and staying locked in. We're going to have to keep working towards our goal, and even though we're not playing a game, staying focused every single day in practice and with the mindset that we want to host a conference playoff game because we love playing at home. So, yeah, just staying locked in at practice and getting ready for our scout for Aurora because we lost them this year. So we have a lot of things that we need to improve on and get ready for that.
Do you expect it to be emotional at all on Saturday being senior day?
Yeah, I definitely expect to be emotional. Me, Jonah, and Bruins have gone through a lot. I've been with them since my freshman year, and we've just grown a ton. I love playing with them, so it should be pretty emotional.
Obviously, you hope the best is yet to come, but do you have a favorite memory so far from your time with the Falcons?
I'd have to say my favorite memory was throwing down that dunk against Lakeland. Coming off the injury, it was pretty fun, and then seeing all my friends in the crowd who were just as shocked as I was kind of crazy. So.
I was going to say, I think a lot of us didn't realize you had those kind of ups. What was that feeling as you were flying up and you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this, or what am I doing?
We have great trainers here at Concordia. I was able to work with Mitch and Jordan last year after tearing my ACL. They helped me recover, but also Adler, Andrew, and Sid, they work with me every single day, and I really appreciate them for that. Also, I think putting my faith in the Lord and helping him, he helped me recover, just trusting that he has a plan. It was tough last year watching it from the sidelines, but putting my faith in him is what got me here. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity to play the game that I love every single day with my brothers that I love. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up with, with the road ahead. You've talked about it already with what the mindset is for the team, expecting to go out there and win every game. But I guess for you personally, do you have expectations or goals for these, last couple of weeks of this regular season on into the conference tournament?
We want to win out and then win the conference tournament. We want to get in the tournament, and there's not a single person on our team that doesn't believe that we could do that. We're going to keep playing hard every single game and just enjoy the last few weeks of my career. So that's.
Well, Zach, all the best to you and your teammates. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Zach Leahy, and again, Senior Day coming up on Saturday as the Falcons take on Aurora. It will be a 2 o'clock start here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. As for the rest of the weekend, Falcons athletics coming up tonight. Men's volleyball is at Carthage before they host the defending national champs from Cal Lutheran on Thursday here at 7 p.m. Men's lacrosse hoping to get their season started Wednesday. We'll see if the weather cooperates at Elmhurst. Women's basketball is home against the El Vernal College Infernal. That's a 7 o'clock start on Wednesday. At Aurora coming up on Saturday. Men's hockey has a home-and-home Friday. They will be at Marion, back at the Ozaki Ice Center on Saturday for a 7 o'clock start. Note for wrestling, the CCIW Futures Tournament on Friday before the CCIW Tournament on Saturday. And finally, men's tennis will be taking on Wartburg from New Berlin. New Berlin, Wisconsin, coming up on Saturday again. Be sure to check out CUWFalcons.com for more information and for scheduling updates. Thanks for joining us this week for This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.